If you live in Mineola and you own property, and look, I don't like saying this, but you need to sell it. You need to get the heck out. This neighborhood is being.
Well, I never thought I would have to do this, but it's time to actually debunk PinePowerLI. I've done this to Andy Keto before, but now it's time to do it to PinePowerLI. What's up, guys? Andy here. So today we are going to do a video about why the village of Mineola should not be abandoned. Now, I particularly know a lot about the village of Mineola, particularly because I have a friend there. She's been there for many, many years, and she actually lives in a well-maintained street, which I'm not going to get into. But the point is, this is to defend the residents of Mineola who may have been offended by PinePowerLI's comments. Now, let's get into the statistics of Mineola first. So, first up, let's Google the population of Mineola. Current population that we have right now, according to the 2020 census, was 19,186. And according to this website, well, I don't know what website it was, but I did see a website, and it said that Mineola actually gained 2,000 new residents in the past decade before the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, keep in mind here, there have only been about 273 people who have seen this said video. And honestly, I just feel that the names that Pine Power has been giving this community have certainly been a disrespectful name. So, Mineola does actually have history, and I told my friend about the video, and she certainly was not happy about it. So, the history of Mineola goes back a long, long time. It goes back to Henry Hudson's original claim in the name of the Dutch Indian East Company, dating as far back as 1609. The Dutch and English settlers worked to clear farmland to start their own life on the Hempstead Plains. It was in 1858 when this land was named after an Algonquin Indian chief, Mineola Gobkin, meaning Pleasant Village. The name was certainly altered to Mineola. So, again, I know a lot about the history of this town. Alright? The Native Americans settled a very, very long time. And, in fact, a long time ago, Mineola was technically in Queens County. That's pretty much shocking. So, here we go. Mineola officially became the county seat of Nassau County on July 3rd, 1900, as then-Governor Theodore Roosevelt laid the cornerstone of the Nassau County Courthouse. So that explains why the county legislature building on Franklin Avenue is named after Theodore Roosevelt. Now, it says that Mineola was legally incorporated as a village in 1906. Langone Hospital was founded in 1896 as Nassau Hospital. So, again, Mineola has a lot of history. And, of course, you know, you just cannot abandon this village. It's just something that historically cannot be done. It's certainly not like Westbury, where, okay, Westbury is a whole different story. Alright, that's not really an area of Nassau County that, you know, if you're going north of Old Country Road, I guess you could say what would be the point of savaging that area. But we're talking about the county seat of Mineola here. We're talking about where the county executive has his office, Bruce Blakeman, and we're talking about all the offices of the county legislators go to Mineola. So, I guess we can just get rid of these other websites that I have, because Wikipedia is pretty much going to help us here. So, here's the population increase. So, wow, okay. So, Mineola actually lost 1,000 residents. Kind of in a way I'm not surprised due to taxes and other pre-pandemic issues, but anyhow, 18,799 people, but that can be disputed. So the demographics of Mineola were 81% white, 71% non-Hispanic white, and so there you go. I mean, you do have an Hispanic or Latino population, but a lot of the Latino population of the village of Mineola in the past couple of years has become Portuguese. So now what we want to do is go into the village of Mineola. Now, I want to go into the nice part of Mineola because there still is a lot of well-maintained houses in this hamlet. Now, I want to show you something interesting here. So let's draw a line here. See if I can get my paint tool. Here we go. So let's just draw this imaginary line right here. Right around here. Okay? Let's start all over again. I do apologize. Yes, so let's do from here. Now what we're going to do is draw a green color. So I want to give an illustration here. See this? This is Old Country Road. The red line represents the village of Mineola. The green line represents Garden City Park. So, obviously, you still got Garden City Park. And I've actually driven with my father on these side streets to take a look at these houses. They're very beautiful houses. Don't get me wrong. And, you know, we didn't go north of the line until a long time ago, which I'm not going to get into. But, basically, what I want to illustrate here is the nice area of Mineola in the red line. Germanium Avenue all the way till about...
Could you try again?
That's a fail on that part. To Wistra. Now, I did a lot of research. To figure out what was the most recent Google Street View out of all this area. And what's shocking is Google has not been to this area, most streets, since 2017. Now, you can look this up for yourself on Google Maps. You can do it on your own time. But what I want to show you is this one random road in Mineola called Kenilworth Road. Now, why are we showing it? Well, this is the most recent Google Street View that was taken back in July of 2019. So let's take a look at the most recent Google Street View. So, this was a street view taken back in July of 2019. Now, given that this road looks decently okay, as you can see here, I mean, these look like pretty nice houses. I mean, why would you want to sell? And I even looked at the older 2017 views. I mean, from what my friend has told me, and she lives around this stretch of Old Country, the houses are well maintained. So, PinePowerLIs is completely overreacting about a certain part of Mineola that is in trouble right now. And we're going to get into it in just a second. Because I know that area very, very well of Mineola. So here we go. So, look at all these beautiful houses. In fact, out of all the houses that I like, personally, I actually like this one. I think it's this one right here. Look how beautiful this house is. Look how beautiful this house is. I would love to live in a house like this. Now, obviously, you can't see the address because in Mineola, well, Nassau County in particular, it's pretty hard to find home addresses for, you know, privacy reasons, etc., etc. And it's not like New York City, well, particularly in Queens, where we actually have a code of conduct in the borough. You actually have to show your home address in the front, because all the addresses in Queens have a dash. So, that's the important thing to note right there. So, recently, what John's referring to, the downtown's been certainly going through a rough time lately. Now, what is PinePower certainly referring to, you may be wondering. Well, what PinePower has been referring to is the downtown of Mineola. And as you can see here, here's the first sign of neglect right here. You have graffiti on Mineola Boulevard. You have this just laying around. And, you know, I understand that they're trying to revitalize the Mineola train station, but until then, that's not going to be for another year. And that's going to be the problem for a lot of these residents who live in these nice houses that are between, you know, Germanium Avenue all the way to Wistra Avenue. These residents who have to use the train station, you know, they're dealing with a downtown that's very questionable right now. And, you know, maybe it's because some of these residents, I guess, they own cars, they leave town, and or they can just afford Uber and Lyfts. Because you do have a median home income of $100,000 per year. So that's the main thing that I did research very, very well. So I'm not going to assume where people are leaving Mineola to go for the day, but you know, they just don't want to deal with the declining downtown. So this is where, you know, you have some of your decent restaurants, like the St. James, for an example. That's a very good tavern that I recommend going to. There was a brewery that just recently opened. The other thing is, you know, where is Fox's going to go? Fox's has been in Mineola for so many years. Starbucks just recently opened in that new apartment complex. You got Taglio's Pizza, which another place I recommend going to in Mineola. Taglio's is the best pizza you can get in Mineola, especially because it's right by the hospital. And I will admit, I have been to Mineola in the middle of the day. And maybe it's because Pine Power doesn't see Mineola. Maybe he sleeps the day through. I don't know. But I've been to Mineola in the middle of the day. The town's pretty busy. The town is pretty busy. I will admit that. Because you got a lot of the Winthrop workers, and a lot of them who are hospital workers, they do partake in some of the restaurants in Mineola. Me and my parents, and even a friend of mine, we've seen this during the day. Me and my friend, we went to Suffolk County for the day. I think this was back in the fall last year. And a friend of mine was like, I want to take you to Mineola because I know this pizza place very well. And he took me to Taglio's. And I guess we parked right around here on Mineola Boulevard. This is where the meters are. So I'll do a street view if I can pull it up. So this is where me and my friend parked. And look at this. This is the way it looked in September. Funny enough, this is a recent street view of November 2021. And funny enough, I was there September of 2021. Go figure that out. And come to think of it, I think this was maybe a week after my cousin got married in Stony Brook. So, I mean, I understand Pine Power has his mental health issues, and I understand he's going through the kidney stones, but it's a lot to take in his situation. So what we're going to do now is show you the area of Mineola, not just the downtown, but particularly this. Right around here. You have a couple of apartment buildings on Lincoln Avenue, for an example. And some of these apartments right now are in very, very vulnerable shape. Okay? And this is one of the areas in Mineola that had a fire earlier this year. So, obviously, this is an issue where you don't know if any of these apartments are taken over by slumlords. And by Pine Power suggesting that, oh, you should just sell your property in Mineola. Yeah, the problem is, if you sell any of those nice, beautiful homes in Mineola, for an example, what I just showed earlier, you don't know if a slumlord's going to buy those houses, because in Hicksville, look what happened. A lot of those single-family housing units became illegal multifamily housing units. And it was the same problem in New York City that we're currently dealing with right now. Especially in Queens. I mean, look at these apartments. I mean, I understand this is August of 2019, and I get all that, but things have certainly changed. I mean, you have children who live in these apartments with their parents. I mean, where are they supposed to go? Where are they supposed to go? And then I think this stretch of Lincoln Avenue, I think these are homes right here. I mean, where are these people supposed to go? They can't just sell their homes. And even if they try selling their homes, you know, you got to remember, a lot of the housing on the South Shore right now, you have a lot of bidding going on. You have a lot of people trying to bid just to get a house down in, I would say, a random town I can give right now would be Seaford or Belmore. Just two random towns I can think of on the top of my head. Okay, so let's take a look at, you know, Mineola for an example, because that's how we're going to wrap up this video. So, as you can see here, let's take a look at this house for an example. There are a couple of houses that are for sale in Mineola, believe it or not. In fact, one of the houses on Waybrook Road is for sale right now. Let's take a look at this one. 29 Weybridge Road. I mean, look at this. Look how beautiful this house looks. This is a beautiful house. In fact, look at the inside of it. It certainly has a nice charm to it. And look, you even have a decent backyard. Look at all the trees in that backyard. It looks so beautiful. And a lot of these houses, and especially from what my friend was telling me about hers, her house was actually built in the 1920s. And again, these houses have a lot of history in this village. Now, the only thing I want to see are the taxes. So how much are the taxes? How much would you be paying in property tax, for an example? Okay, look at that. So see? Look at this. $6,000. Look at that. $6,000. For the land that you're buying for $850,000? I mean, that's certainly a good price. If I had that kind of money, I would consider purchasing in this area. For an example. Just for an example. Okay, so let's see. We have a apartment building for sale, but we're not looking for an apartment building. We're looking for houses. So, in theory, you could be getting a lot of money. A lot of money right now. And right now, I mean, look what you got in Mineola. I mean, you got a pretty decent amount of housing available. It's adequate, but it could be a lot worse. So I literally just gave an example of why Pine Power is just overreacting right now. I mean, if he wants to move out, I can respect his opinion. You know, if he wants to leave, you know, if he can leave and go to the South Shore or New Jersey by June, then, you know, let's respect his decision. Let's certainly do that. I mean, look. You literally got to get $3,000 a month now. Or at least $2,000. Just to get an apartment in this area. I mean, you have those Allure apartments over there. It's $3,000 a month. And you want an analogy of how bad the rent has gotten in New York? Just watch this video and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Old dude, he goes, "Yep, I paid $270 a month." And I'm looking at my friend like, "Don't say it, don't say it." But he's one of those friends who's proud of what he pays. He goes, "Well, sir, I pay $3,000 a month." And this old guy's reaction was worth every cent. It was right there. He just, "What? You dumb. This guy pays $3,000 a month. This guy pays $3,000." And there's no one on the street. He's just shouting it to the trees and the fire hydrants. $3,000. What the? It's still a one bedroom. It is. What the hell they put in that bedroom, huh? Who do you live with? The Jets and the Sharks.
So you get the idea of what you're really paying for. I mean, here's the example of what you're getting right here. This house right here, a 3-bed, 2-bath. I mean, you're getting your money's worth. You're even getting a full garage, for an example. So, with that, I want to see if I can find the official Village of Mineola website. So, here it is. This is where I'm going to wrap up the video. So, please, my point is don't bully Pine Power. Don't, try to intimidate him. Don't, make him feel bad. He's going through a very rough time in his life right now. He's going through, a lot with the kidney stones. He's going through a lot. I mean, certainly I'm thinking about leaving my area given that, I'm not okay living with jail inmates at a hotel. I mean, I'm not okay dealing with home burglaries or vehicular theft going up. And certainly I haven't been happy. I witnessed another car accident yesterday. A car was trying to make a left turn onto my street yesterday, and the other car just didn't see the minivan coming. And, I don't know how or if I'm going to move. I really don't know right now. But if I could sell my property and exchange it for this, I certainly would rather have this dream home than being stuck in a community where I have to live near jail inmates. I really don't want to have to deal with that. So I do wish Pine Power the best. Wish Pine Power the best is what I'm trying to say. If you do have some sympathy. And, there are going to be his haters. But, I mean, June's rapidly coming. It'll be June before you know it. Next week is Good Friday, Passover, and Easter. Then, soon enough, it will be Memorial Day. And before you know it, it will be the beginning of summer. And Pine Power may be going to the South Shore, maybe. Or he may be going to New Jersey. And I don't want to have to move to Delaware. I don't want to have to move. I really don't. I mean, if I can get a miracle that house in Mineola is for sale, I would certainly love to purchase it. If I had the money right now, I would be contacting that real estate agent and looking at a tour. But I don't have money for that house. I can't sell my house in Fresh Meadows right now. Not under the circumstances that I'm dealing with. So, I'm going to wrap up this video. I've said my piece, and that's where I'm going to end it.